Welcome back, everyone, to our Let's Play series of Motorsport Manager. So in our first race, things didn't go all that well, and that's about to be expected. Unfortunately, we had to make, I think the biggest deal was we had to make some repairs to our car, whereas the AI just took chances and didn't make the repairs, and a few of them dropped out of the race, but not enough for us to get into the points. So that will, of course, get better as time goes on and we continue to improve the reliability of our parts. But, of course, that always takes a few races into the season before you can get there. So until that time, we'll be stuck with trying to make a few extra pit stops, or we'll spend a lot longer in the pits trying to make those fixes. Let's go ahead and start out with our mail, and then I want to check in on our part development because I have forgotten where we were on that. All right, so you can see car condition was higher this time, and the reason it was higher for car number one is because I had to push some because of using the harder tire, which, you know, I may go back and change the strategy a little bit, and we might try the medium tire next time, or whichever tire is in the middle that we get for our next race. But again, I like to mix things up, and we'll try some stuff out and see how it goes. So let's go ahead and move on with our weekly interview, it seems. All right, so we're missing a thing there. We got a bug where something's not filling in after needing some rather hasty repairs. Is it a sign that you're not focused enough? No, if you knew anything about the game, you would know there's no way around that. All right, let's see. Wow, none of I don't like any of these. All right, so we'll choose the first one, but I don't like any of those answers, quite frankly. All right, we're not going to worry about pit stop times. We're not going to worry about any of that. I do want to take a quick look at our pit crew and see if anybody is in dire need of being swapped out. Doesn't look like it. I think overall we're in good shape there. Not really interested in doing a whole lot with that other than swapping out for stamina issues. And the reason is, if you look at our pit crew, somehow we're second on the grid. And I don't know quite how that is or why that is, but we'll take it. We'll take any advantage we can get, so any help we can get. All right, let's take a look at this car. So we got 10 days until the new part is done. We've got 31 days until our next race. But of course, we've still got work to do on our brakes. So for now, again, it takes a little while to get your parts into service on the car, at least until you get your factory upgraded some, and that really helps out because you can do more parts at one time. All right, let's see what we've got in our mailbox. Media training, what do we got? So we know that one of our drivers can present himself better when interacting with the press, no doubt. So media train, no, that is definitely not worth $1 million. No, 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 no. We don't want that. All right, we need to get the car repair complete. There we go. So that we can get back to work on this thing. All right, so the brake package, I want to continue working on that. And then we'll see where things are once we get this new gearbox in hand. But for now, I mean, it'll just have to be where it is, and we'll focus on that for now. Okay, here comes the gearbox. Let's see where we are. Okay, 74 and 77. Still not as quick as I would prefer. Okay, here we go. Gearbox will now be done. Let's get to our email. Scouting report, not going to worry about those. And all right, so we have our new gearbox. So if we come back in under the car, we have our new gearbox here, which is unfortunately not all that good on its own. So we're actually going to add it. And once again, you can see all the staff run over there. But once we get it fully upgraded, it will be a good deal better than what we currently have. But the most exciting part of that is really that it's going to enable us to open up an additional slot, which we're going to use right here. So we've got, I really wish we could use both of these, but unfortunately we don't have any way of doing that. We don't have any specials that would give us that ability. So we're going to choose this, and you can see that it gets up to 121 once we get done working with it. And we can't go beyond that, but we can open up yet another slot. And if we did open up another slot, I guess we could go with this plus 40 to the max. So we got some options there, but unfortunately, this would appear to be the only part. Let's make sure before I click on that we're going to be able to work on and actually use the parts this season. Really frustrates me that we're getting so many risk levels. I kind of know how that got there, but still, it's aggravating to have not that many options in some of our other parts outside of the risk level. Okay, I like what we've got there. Let's go ahead and confirm that. Okay, and you can see already, even though that part wasn't that much better, it does raise us up a little bit. We're still in last, but it raises us up a little bit. Okay, so for now, we're going to continue. I tell you what, no, we are not going to continue there. We're at 81 and 83. What are the crucial parts? We got, okay, 2 of those are spec parts, of course, and then we've got, there we go. Let's go ahead and spend the rest of our time working on the suspension, because we really, if we can get out of here without having to do any more repairs, obviously that's a huge benefit to us, even more than the performance itself. So I am really liking that. So that's what we're going to go for moving forward. All right, let's move over to our sponsors. How many options? Let's see, we got 1, 2 slots open right now. And of course, the other 3 will be open after our next race. All right, I like it. I can't spend a whole lot of time on this particular screen because it does bug me that car number 2 is at 0%. That bugs me, but we'll deal with that in time. For now, I'm really enjoying saving that money that we're saving. And you can see, I mean, the cost that we're losing per race is much less than what we were last year. So I'm hoping to get a lot of work done on the car this season and really prepare for next season as far as how competitive we are. All right, so we've got, what, 18 more days. Okay, the new part will be done right in time for our next race. So that's going to be good. And the reason that's good is because I'm trying to time out how we can work on these parts, the reliability and so forth. So if we can get by the next race, if we can have these parts at around 80 or above, that'll be spectacular, because that means that the next race, before the next race, we can work on the gearbox. We'll have both new parts in here, and then we can take it from there and see if we want to continue working on another gearbox, or maybe we want to start working on some of the other parts that don't necessarily have the design options that we would prefer. But so far, so good. I'm going to take it for what it is. And let's see, nothing popping up so far. That is good. See, all right, you hear that sound in the background. That is the sound of a sponsor offer. Okay, here we go. Almost to race time. Let's sift through our emails. And let's see. Wow, we got a bunch of emails here. Scouting reports. We'll flip through those for now. All right, helipad. Yes, those are pretty awesome, but they also really help out with sponsorship. So they're good. But of course, that's on down the line. There is our new gearbox. Let's see where we are on our other parts. There we go. 79, 78. That's good. That's right about where we need to be. It's ultimately not perfect, but for right now, I think we're in good shape there. So now what I need to look for is, let's see how much above 120 we can get on another gearbox design. If we can get well above it, then I may go ahead and do it. If not, then I probably won't. Let's see, 120, that'll get us to 160, which wouldn't be bad. That's not bad at all. That'll give us 2 cars, because again, I don't plan on tanking the second car forever. So it would be nice to have the best parts we can possibly get going into the next season. It looks like that's about all we're going to get. Again, we can't get into the great or the epic, but it always is nice to see what some of the options are. Unfortunately, the epic doesn't look to be all that good. It'd be nice to see what the final level would be. All right, so 160, let's hold off on doing that. Let's see what we could get for the suspension. Let's see, if we started building these, and let's see if we did this. Again, I don't like to do this, but we really don't have any choice. I mean, reliability at plus 15 is completely useless for us. Then we could come in with a plus 30 the second time. All right, let's go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and work on these parts. I think we'll get a little bit further. Now, we can't use these parts right away. We won't be able to do that. We won't be able to use these parts until next season unless I decide that I want to get a little crafty and try to sneak them through tech. But most likely, I will not. You can see our acceleration is coming right on up there. Again, not where it needs to be, but we're getting better. And so over the course of the season, I think this is going to be great for us. Okay, one more quick glance at the pit crew just to make sure that nobody is about to die with regards to stamina. Nope, look pretty good there. Everybody will probably need to be shuffled around a little bit for our next race, but other than that, no big deal. Let's head back to our main screen here. And, oh, we got sponsorship offers. I almost forgot. All right, let's see what we've got. Again, they've only given us 2, and we could hold out for 3. But ultimately, I'm not terribly interested. And there we go. So we're not going to get anything here, so I'm just going to leave that as is because 100,000 isn't going to help us. And let's see, 6 races, 9 races. Well, the 9-race deal is not wonderful. But again, with our 1-star situation right now, that's about all we're going to get. We'll take the 350. Okay, and the main thing is our finances are still looking really good right now. So again, the least amount of money we spend at the racetrack, that's more money we can spend on new parts. All right, so we'll take our 5th or above. And boy, if we're able to get the entire bonus there, that would be very nice. So let's see what it wants us to do. Looks like qualifying is supposed to be raining. Race is supposed to be raining. All right, so our tire choice may not matter a whole lot at all. So I think what I'll do is I'll go 3 sets of softs. And those are really only for qualifying. 2 is the most sets I ever really use. And let's see. Let's go ahead and just do 6. And 6 there. And 7 and I might as well do 6 and 6 there as well. Okay, that looks good. Part fitting. And let's see. Everything looks good. We'll make sure we're not using the new parts. Okay, we're not. Not that it would matter a whole lot on this one. And okay, overall it looks good there. And I think we're ready to head to the race. All right, now that practice and qualifying are out of the way, something really interesting happened during qualifying, and we ended up on the pole with car number 1, and it was one of those cases where weather intervened. At the very beginning of the session, it was dry for about like 3 to 4 minutes, and then the rains came and never stopped. So what I tried to do when I saw that is from the very beginning of the session, I sent both of my cars out on dry tires and got a dry lap in. And very few people got a dry lap in because actually we were finishing up our dry lap as the rains were coming down. So unless you went out right as the session started, you probably didn't get more than about a half of a lap in before it was too wet for the dry tires to be of any use to you. So then we sent out the second driver on the intermediates just to finish up, but there was no doubt we got the pole because of strategy. We just barely got a dry lap in, and of course the dry tires have so much more grip than what the intermediates or the wets would have. So we got a bit of good fortune there. Hopefully we can turn this into a good finish. Again, I'm not thinking that we're going to somehow win this race, but if we can somehow get in the top 5, that would be amazing. Now the good thing is we did make our qualifying objective of 5th or above, so we got 225 grand, so we're already good for at least that much. So we'll take a look very quickly at the knowledge bonuses. Once again, the practice session is not long enough to get us to the level 3 bonuses right now. Some of the tracks it is, but so far this year, the 2 tracks have not been. So we'll have race trim and hard tires. That's what I spent the session on. If we look at the car setup, you can see we're on intermediate tires, and that is because the weather is going to get very wet very quickly. Now the question is, we can only see what, maybe 15 minutes or so into the future, and it's going to be wet enough for intermediate. So we'll have to keep an eye on how long we want to stay there. Starting fuel, this is actually not max fuel. And the reason I did that is because the fuel, actually max fuel will last longer than the tires can last by matching up the number of laps. So I backed off the fuel a little bit, just trying to give us a little bit of extra speed. We'll take any that we can get. And then of course I went way down on the fuel here simply because these drivers don't have any stamina or speed anyway, so I'm trying to help them out in any way possible. So driver strategy, I've not changed it at this point. I know that's going to hurt us on the start, and I'm going to go push on the start. I'm not really worried about car number 2, but I'm going to go push on the start simply because I want to try to get what we can get here, but again, we'll see. I don't want to push the engine mode, because this is all about trying not to do repairs during the race. So I think we've got what we need. Let's go ahead and continue our way through and get this race started. Alright, so here we go. Once again, you can say we're going to start 13th and 19th. So you know it's bad when our second car is starting 19th on the grid. I mean, that, you know everybody else was really caught out. Alright, so let's go ahead and speed up our time. And here lately, the 3D mode has not really been hurting my eyes as much. There's a whole lot more things going on with my health, and I guess my body has just decided that's not as important. So, alright, here we go. Let's see what we can do here. Again, I'm not thinking that we're going to get... Oh, wow. We had people pitting already. The track has dried out. Okay, it's just now starting to rain. That's an interesting message there. But we will take it, because somehow the entire front of the pack, all of the Class A cars have pitted. That was weird. So we'll take it, and we're going to try to get out here and run as well as we can. Again, not push things too hard, because our goal here is to not make any more repairs than we have to. Now we're going to have to make at least one repair, and I believe that's going to be on the gearbox. But if that's the only one we make, then I'll be perfectly okay with that. And if we don't have to make it at all, I would be even better with that. So right now we are in 14th, which is going really well. I will take that. All right, and more pit stops. Wow. So we'll keep an eye out, and it looks like we're still going to be in Inter's weather for the foreseeable future. And the good news is we have got, look at here, we're in 11th. Somehow we've managed to get ourselves above the line with the Class A cars. Remember, there are 12 Class A cars and 12 Class B cars for a total of 24. And somehow we're now in 10th. So we will take it. So our goal is to simply stick with this as much as we can, and hopefully we can do well, because I mean we are well ahead of well, that's calling it 16th there, which would be the next of our actual division. There we go. Now the Class A cars are starting to come back by and take their rightful spot. All right, here we go. Let's push for a little bit, trying to keep a little bit of temp in the tires for car number 1 anyway. Okay, we're not that far off of the leaders in our class right now, so I'm liking what I'm seeing, trying to push as little as humanly possible. Okay, car 2 is just going to have to deal with it. Okay, let's back off once again, trying to keep those parts and pieces on the car as long as we can and in as best shape as we can. But you can see we're right here behind 15th. We are right there with them, and then 14th is not that far. 14th and 13th are not that much farther up the road. So the tires are starting to wear out, and that's Exactly what you would expect. Unfortunately, we're only about 30 minutes in, but if you remember when we looked at the track earlier, before we actually came to the track, it told us that the tire wear here was extremely high, and that is proving to be the case. So we're going to wear these tires as much as we can. And then what I plan on doing is we'll come in, we'll put some fresh tires on there. And I don't plan on putting any more fuel in there, actually. What I plan on doing is staying out here as long as I can, which won't be all that much longer. In fact, let's go ahead. There we go. I wanted to get just past the pit entrance. And what I'm planning on doing, so 36 minutes there of time. All right, tire choice, we're going to go another set of inters. Yeah, it's not enough for full wets, and it's definitely not dry tire weather. So it says we can get 43 to 45. That's not going to happen. We're looking at maybe about 30 laps. And yeah, I like this. I like this because we're burning just under 1 of fuel. I don't know if this is supposed to be liters or what, but 1 liter of fuel per lap. So I think we're good here. That will enable us to do the best job, I think, that we can possibly do. Okay, so we'll set that up, and then car number 2 is just going to have to wait before they get their first pit stop. I noticed that the guys at the back of the field have already made 2 pit stops. So this will be our first, and no mistakes. Okay, excellent. We come out in good position. Let's go ahead and set up our other pit stop. And we're going to have to go ahead and swap out here. Again, we'll keep an eye on the weather. Okay, it looks like it's getting drier over time, but of course we never know if that's going to equal completely dry conditions. All right, we're going to go 30 laps of fuel here. And I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and give more fuel just in case I decide to run them longer so I don't have to worry about them for pit stops. Okay. All right, so we're back in good shape. 14 seconds roughly off of the lead in our division. Let's go. Give me the car I want. There we go. So I'm liking it. Now we're back in 3rd position. Only 4 seconds out. The bad news is we got a couple of guys fairly close to us in the running order. Let's go ahead and run hard for a little bit here. Try to get some heat in the tires. Keep an eye on our weather. Okay, it is indeed drying out some. We'll see if that continues. All right, we just lapped our team car. But yeah, I'm very happy with the way things are right now. Very happy indeed. Oh, I'm going to let the tires get way too hot if I don't start paying attention. Okay, as we come up closer to an hour in, yeah, we're going to have to do some repairs there, but hopefully none of the rest. And we'll keep an eye on that as time goes on. Okay, tire temps coming down very slowly. It's hard to get them to come down once you get them in that overheated area, which I had just gotten them into. Okay, now you notice where are we at? We are back to the lead in our class. I'm trying to get an idea of where everybody is around us in our class. That's where the 2D mode helps out a little bit more. And of course, it would also help out if I would slow down the time a little bit, but we don't want to do that. So right now, I'm really liking where we are. You notice the leads we have over some of the guys at the back of the field. That's what's most important here, because we got to make sure we get a top 5. Okay, and yes, things are definitely drying out, and I would love nothing more than to be able to hand over the car to the next driver with the dry tires. That would work out perfectly. You can see we're running very low on stamina, but I'm going to try to drag this out for a little bit longer if at all possible. because that would save us a pit stop if it could just filter its way in to our existing cycle. So just hang in there a little bit longer on your stamina, and then we'll put some dry weather tires on there and we'll get to racing. Okay, is that going to be close enough? I think so. All right, so the next time by, we're going to go ahead and put, I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and put Sophia in there. And her tire choice is going to be, well, let's see. Do I go, I think I'm going to have to go, let's go medium. We're going to have to make a bunch of pit stops in this race because this place is really hard on tires. So let's go the mediums. And what does it say we'll get? Maybe about 30 minutes worth. So let's go up to about, I want to go a little bit higher. Let's go up to about 35 on fuel, just in case we're able to get some more. And okay, no fix needed yet. And it would be nice if it wasn't needed. Okay, here we go. Now we are queued up for our pit stop. Let's hope everything goes well with the driver change and the regular pit stop. All right, let's see what we got. Medium tires going on. Fuel going in. That is going very slowly. Okay. All right, so we're in good shape right now. You can see everybody else has yet to come in. So we should be going like greased lightning here for a little while, because this should be dry weather territory, because there is barely any weather on as of now. Let's go ahead and pit. Same thing here. Tire choice, let's go ahead and put on mediums. And fuel, I'll tell you what, yeah, 34, 35, somewhere in there is probably good. Let's go a little bit more than that. Okay. All right, so pit stops, you can see, are starting. At this point, everybody looks like they're going to hard tires, which makes a lot of sense, don't get me wrong. That does indeed make a lot of sense. But I don't think we can make it far enough to save a pit stop by using the hard tires, so I'm going to take a chance on the mediums here. But you can see we're in the lead. This is what we need. We need to stay out here, clean pit stops, no repairs in the pits, and I think we will be in good shape. All right, I do not want to push with these tires and wear them out any quicker than they already are. So we're just going to have to deal with what we're getting for the tire temps right now. I might consider goosing the tire temps by pushing for maybe a lap or so, but very, very little time. Because we're going to be lucky to get about 30 minutes out of these tires as is. So what I'm trying to do is match up 2 cycles on tires, 2 stints on the stamina for the drivers. If I can do that, then it's really not worth me trying to go 45 minutes and 15 minutes. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense for us. But so far so good. Let's keep an eye out, see if we got any more rain coming. So far we do not. And we'll just hope that if there is more weather coming, that it will stay away until at least it's time for a pit stop. All right, I am liking this quite a bit. But you can see the tires are wearing very quickly. The fuel, I think, is going to match up very nicely with the tires, which is exactly what you want. You don't realistically want to carry any more fuel than you have to for weight purposes, but in general, we've been carrying a little bit more than what we needed. All right, so far so good. Let's take a look at the conditions. Still at 32%. Boy, it would be nice if we didn't have to do anything with that. We may take a chance here. If it's going to be close, I may take a chance with that and not do a repair. All right, you can see we got some guys closing in on us here. They're very close behind us. The key for us is the top 5. That's what we're looking for. We need to stay in front of this 18th position. Okay, so here we go. We've lasted the tire. You can see it's lasted for 33 laps, or excuse me, 33 minutes. And we've got about 8 laps remaining on it, so the tire and the fuel are going to run out at about the same time. Okay, that is perfect. Wow, the leader just blew by us and apparently is running like nobody's business out there right now. Okay, so we're getting back down. Let's go ahead and set up our pit stop for next time by. We'll keep same driver in here for now. All right, tire. Let's go ahead and put, let's see, how long have they been in? Let's see, 36. So if I could get about 24. Nope, not going to get it. I was thinking about putting the soft tire on there just momentarily, but it's not going to work. So we'll go ahead and put about 30 on here again, but I don't think we're going to need quite that much. Part condition 28. Oh, we're going to have to fix it. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's bite the bullet. Let's fix it. And balanced pit stop. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, well, it is what it is. We can only hope now that the other drivers have to do the same thing, or that they end up falling out of the race due to mechanical problems. Okay, let's go ahead and queue up our next pit stop. Put our number 1 driver back in for as long as they can last. Fuel, let's run that up to about, say about 37, which is more than they need. There we go. Now we got that done. You can see this brings us way back down. But unfortunately, had to be done. So we're going to keep this going as long as we possibly can. Let's go ahead and move this up just for a moment. We're down to 43. I think we're okay though at 43 for the last hour or so of the race. Okay, let's see where we are on the others. 45, 60s. Okay, not bad. Let's go ahead and push a little bit here. Again, I want to try to get all the speed out of this we can. We need to make up this gap. That's what we're going to need to do. And so I'm going to keep those temps as close to where I need them as I can. So we're really going to push the pace in a race like this, where we have opportunities. You can see there are guys here in front of us, 4 guys that I can immediately see that are going to need pit stops here very shortly. So that's going to put us right back in front of them. Okay, so the real question for them is this next pit stop going to be their last one? If it is, they're in good shape. If it's not, they're definitely not in good shape. Okay, so we're coming up on low stamina, but we've made up quite a bit of time. If you look at where we are right now, as far as time behind the leader, we have made up a good bit of time and are in really good shape for that top 5, and we can just keep this run going. Okay, let's go ahead and push a little bit more because we're going to get maybe another lap or 2 out of this particular driver, and then we are going to swap. In fact, there we go. Let's go ahead and line this up and put in our final driver. So plenty of stamina here. I think what I want to do, 46 minutes. We can't do that with this tire. Let's take a chance and see if we can do it on the hard tire. It's going to be real close. Wow. I think we can because we've got more than 26 or 28 minutes out of this tire. I think we can do it. So, yeah, I think we can do it. Let's go ahead and put, let's see. Ooh, that's 64. We don't need that much. Let's see, 48 to 50. Let's do 50 at the most. Yeah, let's do 50 at the most. Well, it says, no, that is all wrong. Because that is not how much fuel we need. All right, so we are going to go, we're going to go 50 here. I mean, we're only going to have around 45 minutes left. So this, we can back off the engine a little bit, and we'll at some point here. So yeah, I think this is going to turn out to be quite nice. In fact, I'm going to give it just a little bit of extra, but not a whole lot. Part condition, we should be good to the end. Yeah, we're going to have to back off this engine to make sure, though. Okay, let's go ahead and back off of all of that. And if we have the ability at the end of the race, if we have enough condition left, then we'll certainly tune that engine back up. But I got to make sure we get it there first. All right, so that should be our final pit stop. All of those in front of us, I would say it should not be. They should have at least one more to come in and do, because I don't think any of their tires, or especially the soft tire, it's not going to make it that far. So we'll see. This is going to get very, very interesting. All right, let's go ahead and push a little bit. All right, so we're pushing and we're fired up on car number 1. And so we'll keep an eye on, see about the weather. Are we going to get any more? Doesn't look like it, unless we get some right at the very end of the race, but it doesn't appear as though weather is going to be any more of an issue. Okay, so we got a retirement in front of us, and again, I'm still expecting some more pit stops coming. Hoping for them anyway. Okay, tire temps coming up nicely. I tell you what, let's go ahead and do... Can we do... Yeah, let's go ahead and do our final pit stop, I guess. And let her do the last 32 minutes and limp it home. Give her the hard tires. That's good enough right there. Part condition, what do we need to do? We are not going to fix anything. Really no reason to. If we drop out of the race, it's not going to matter as far as points go. So alright, so that seems to be working okay, and I'm hoping for some pit stops up here. But the more time winds down, the more it's looking like they're going to try to make it from there. Alright, so I've let the tires go as high as I can on temp. I've pushed it as hard as I can. Now we're going to back off. And woo, yeah, that engine is barely hanging on. So it's got to go 25 more minutes. Alright, wrong car there. For some reason, whenever there's a pit stop, it automatically focuses on the car in the pits, even though it's monopolizing our screen with all the other stuff that's going on. Alright, yeah, this is not looking as good as I need it to right now. We need more pits. There comes another one. Here comes a couple more. We just need to go as hard as we can. Oh, can we make up? Are we going to miss it by less than 10 seconds? So we've got part condition issues. We already know that's the engine. So a day that started off so promising, and I feel like we did the best we could with what we had. This is just all with the performance we have in the car right now. The strategy really fell our way overall, so I'm not upset about anything that we've done. You can see we're still moving up spots, but we're going to come up just a little short unless we get some more of what I was talking about. More people needing to do more repairs. And we need this engine to hang in there. Like I've said before, once you get down into that red in condition, it can go from 16 to 0 immediately. Or it can go 16 to 15. I mean, you just never know. We got a little over 8 minutes to go now. And let's see, anybody going to break down? Nope, not yet. Oh, we're right here. We just need one more driver to drop out till we get to the points. Oh, there's a pit stop. No, we're not going to be close enough unless they have to do repairs. No, we're just not going to be close enough to them. So close. But ultimately, the lack of speed is going to be what does us in. So we are not quite on our last lap. Not quite. Laps here are about a minute 6, minute 8, somewhere in that range for our class. So looks like our engine is going to make it, wow, just in time. 5% left. Yikes. All right, so we did the best we could with it. The best we could, but unfortunately, that wasn't enough. That's not going to get us any points. And what started out so promising didn't end quite as promising. Man, I hate that. I mean, you can see these guys in front of us. I mean, some of them had a full 2 extra pit stops. You want to talk about speed. I mean, that is speed. Can't wait till we're up there being able to match that type of speed. All right, scrutineering is complete. I'll tell you what, let me go ahead and get a save in here just to make sure. Okay. The good news is going to come whenever we get to the money screen. That's going to be the real good news. All right, let's go, game. Load up these screens. All right, once again, driver morale is not hurt. Driver form, not wonderful for our second and third drivers. Okay, marketability at 25%. We came in 5th out of 6th. All right, we'll get there. I'm really excited about getting these new parts developed for the gearbox. I really think that's going to help us out. But as always, we shall see. There we go. Only loss of 419,000. That is very, very nice. So that's going to enable us to spend more money on parts. Probably hold off on the HQ for now. Okay, let's move through. And now here we are back to our main screen. So I'm happy with the way season has gone so far. Unfortunately, we haven't gotten any points. This race was really our opportunity to get points. And we had a great opportunity there. But the money is doing good. That's going to enable us to get better and better parts. And I think over time, that is going to be what's going to help us out. So we're going to leave it here for now. Thank you very much for joining me. And stay tuned for more of our Let's Play series of Motorsport Manager.